As we go about transitioning to another phase, we have to remember part of the process is letting go so that we can go about receiving what's coming next. And in us going about letting go, we have to remember truth comes in many different varying ways that allows us to see what's there. Signs are given, but not everyone goes about paying attention. It's only because their viewpoints has been altered to go about perceiving the truth in a way that does not go about helping one to see. And simplicity is the key that goes about allowing us to get a better meaning in what we are going through. Welcome to the channel. If you're a returning viewer, hey, thanks for the support. Make sure you put that comment in. Hit the like button. Share this content with others, because we must incorporate that movement within ourselves. And incorporating that movement within ourselves is when we're going to go about finding the truth. Because the truth of the matter is, how many of y'all have or go about having a one-on-one with yourself, with God, just to go about getting that revelation that you so desperately need? We read all these doctrines. We try to go about building understanding from literature. But the truth of the matter is, do you have an open communication with yourself? Do you have an open communication with God? Because when we go about looking at some of the things that are going around troubling us, or some of the things we're going around seeking understanding or trying to get to a higher awareness, where do we get that awareness from? And how do we go about acquiring that knowledge that eludes us? Do we turn to God? Do we go about knowing in the ways of having a communication with God? Like, there was a guy on the internet the other day, and the guy made this proclamation in that we read the scriptures so we could get closer to God. And I had to think like, okay, there's a baseline there, but my rebuttal would be to that guy is that even the Pharisees and the Sadducees in the Holy Bible, they studied the scriptures. And when Jesus came, they couldn't understand where he was coming from. So now that's why I go about reiterating an open communication with God is key. For even when the people of Elijah's time They prayed to their God and so forth. And Elijah told them, let's see what each other's God is worth. And the story goes into it that he says, well, we're going to do this little test at midday. But he told them, I'll let you go first. And in allowing them to go first, he wanted to go about demonstrating the open connection that we must have with the divine. They beat themselves, they prostrate themselves, they fall on the ground, they did all these worthless cries, chants. And for what? Because they did not have an open communication with God. You see, studying something does not help you to understand what God has intended for you. The Bible is only a baseline in which it goes about having you to look on a reflective process within yourself. But a communication is key, it's prevalent, because for even when God told Elijah, go forth, Elijah was hesitant. For even when God spoke to Moses and said, do this, he was hesitant. For even when he told Abraham, for when he told Joseph, for when he told Jesus, they became hesitant. Because an open communication, an open dialogue, God is going to come to go about seeing where you are at. And that's why it's key to go about building understanding, and only through understanding and going forth with starting and looking at self. Because if there's wickedness that goes about residing in you, it won't be the Spirit of God that you're calling. It will be wickedness that you're calling. If there's resentment within you, it won't be the Spirit of God. Because the thing that people fail to realize is energy is the governing factor that goes about controlling this plane. This plane meaning that energy is all around us. There's negatives and positive charges and so forth. But wherever our heart goes about residing, then that's what we're giving our attention to. And like I always tell my kids, you allow yourself to participate in worthlessness, you too will then become worthless. So remove yourselves from things which does not go about promoting a healthiness within you, so that when you do have that one-on-one with yourselves, you're not driven by emotions. You're not driven by resentment. You're not driven by all these things which takes away from you going forth and progressing. For Brother Malcolm X said, the people have been bamboozled. The people have been hoodwinked, run amok. You see, they have been pacified into believing things that does not go about promoting that one-on-one with the divine. For each man's connection is different. For I will be instructed to go one way, for you will be instructed to go the way you're supposed to go. Our uniqueness brings it out that we are all charged in what we have to go about accomplishing. We must come to realize the only way to go about building our understanding, building our awareness, and growing is when we develop that one-on-one. Now, that's my blessing. Hope everybody is enjoying the holidays with you and yours. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the content, and subscribing, you receive more hot takes on developing and walking that one-on-one in life with yourself and with God. Now, that's my blessing. One.